Hello guys, in this video we're going to study the 8 extrameridians. The 8 extrameridians, the extra actually is short for extraordinary. So the 8 extraordinary meridian, the name of these 8 meridians are Du Meridian, Ren Meridian, Cong Meridian, Dai Meridian, Inway Meridian, Yang Meridian, Yin-Qiao Meridian, and Yang-Qiao Meridian. So you can, from our previous videos, they also have the English translation. You can choose which one you want to remember. You can use either way. But for Du Meridian and Ren Meridian, if you use the English translation, you also need to remember the Chinese name Du Meridian and Ren Meridian. The reason is Du Meridian and Ren Meridian, this translation is quite widely used in public. So, and also for the meridians, the most important meridians are the 12 principal meridians, and also from the 8 extraordinary meridian, Du Meridian and Ren Meridian are more important. Actually, in some condition, in some situation, Du Meridian and Ren Meridian plus the 12 principal meridians, sometimes we also call 14 main meridians. 14 main meridians are, and why these 8 meridians called extraordinary meridians or extra meridians? That's because these meridians are slightly different from the principal meridians. They are neither directly related to any of internal organs, nor related to one another in interior and exterior relationship. So as we discussed previously for the main meridians, the 12 main meridians, they all link to one organ, such as the heart meridian, the stomach meridian. They link to the organs, and also when we learn the distribution, the pathways of the meridians, they also link to each other. They link to different organs, they link to different meridians, they link to the paired meridians, and have more closer relationship. It make the relationship in different meridians closer, so they have more connections to each other. But these 8 extra meridians, they don't relate to any of the internal organs. They also do not relate to other meridians. And also the function, once the qi and blood overfilled in the 12 principal meridians, the qi and blood will flow into the extra meridians. And when there's insufficient qi and blood in the meridian, in the principal meridian, the 8 extra meridians can help to replenish the meridians. So the statement is very similar to the statement we described previously. That the function of the 8 extra meridian is similar to the lake. Once the river overfills with waters, the water can go to the lake, can store in the lake, or store in a dam. And then once there's not enough water from the dam can supply the rivers. So the rivers are similar to the 12 principal meridians, and then the dam or the lake is similar to the extra meridians here. So that's the function of the actual meridians. Enhances the communication of the 12 principal meridians because these actual meridians link to different meridian. It doesn't link to one, but link to multiple meridians. They also can regulate the flow of qi and blood, connects closely to the liver, kidney, and some of the actual full organs. That's the function. So from here, especially for the distribution, the pathways of the actual meridians, you need to remember Du meridian and Ren meridian. Special attention need to be drawn to these two meridians. The others also important, but not that important. So from Du meridians, the Du meridians originate from the uterus in woman and in the associated area of man. So similar area of man where the uterus is in woman, and it descends and emerges at the perineum. So it descends and come out from here and swings backwards through ascends along the midline of the spinal column. So it from the internal, from the uterus area, emerge to the surface from the perineum. Perineum. And then it goes from the back side of your back. It travels along the spinal column all the way up to the top of the head. And from the top of the head, continue down to the midline of the forehead, to the nose, and then to the upper lip. So it goes all the way up from top of the head, and then from the front all the way to the lip, and terminates at the point between the upper lip and the upper gum in the labia frenulum. There's a branch of Du meridian originates in sacrum bones and passes through the heart, terminating in kidney. That's why Du meridian also related to kidney. Function of Du meridian. The character of Du in Du meridian means govern. So this meridian actually governs all the Young Meridian of the body. It's also known as the Sea of Young Meridians. So if in a test, the question is, which of the following meridians is considered as the Sea of the Young Meridians? Then from the multiple choice, you need to choose Du meridian, because Du means govern, and Du meridian travels at the back. Back is the Yang area, and Du is the Sea of Young Meridian. Du meridian has a regulating effect on the Young Meridian. It travels in the midline of the spinal column that enters the brain. So the pathway of the Du is from spinal column, which is connected to the brain. So it has very close relationship between the brain and marrow. That's why Du meridian reflects the physiology and pathology of the brain and spinal fluids, as well as the relationship with reproductive organs. So if infertility issues, anything related to reproductive organ issues, the treatments for acupuncture, we can focus on Du meridian. Young Meridian. Young Meridian originates in the uterus in all the public cavity. So it's also start from similar area with the true meridian, emerge at the perineum, cross the front parietal region of the midline. So you see from here, but it travels from the front side, goes all the way up from the midline to the lip, to the lower lip, and then divided into two. So on either side, and meets at the upper lip. When they meet at the upper lip, meets at 228, and then it goes separately, terminates at the eyes. Then another two go to the eyes. So that's the Young Meridian. Function of the Young Meridian. Young Meridian travels in the front part of the body. The front part of the body is the, compared with the back, the front part is in. So it also known as the C of the in meridian. That's also something you need to remember. The C of the in meridian is Young Meridian. In women, it is thought to originate the uterus where the fetus is nourished. Chinese medicine thus states that the Young Meridian governs the development of the fetus. And this statement actually is very closely related to the kidney and liver function. Tone meridian. The next meridian, tone meridian, originates from the uterus or genital organs. So it starts from here, divided into three branches. The first branch ascends along the posterior of abdominal cavity into the spinal cord. It goes in and up. Second branch ascends along the anterior abdominal cavity, traverses to the chest, enter the throat, and encircle the lips. So the second branch goes up. The third branches emerge at the perineum, descends along the medial side of the thigh. So that's another one goes down. This meridian is one of the most typical meridian. Originates from one area of the uterus or genital organs, similar area, but it travels into three different branches. That's the only meridian have this. The function of tone meridian is tone meridian is considered as the C of 12 meridian. It also known as the C of blood. So these terms are quite important in your test. Which meridian is considered as the C of 12 meridians, or which meridian is considered as the C of the blood? The tone meridians. The reason why it was important is because you need to know the terms, and then the C of blood actually indicates, because if you know the C of the blood, though if someone suffering, the patient they suffer from the blood problem, blood deficiency, or the circulation of the blood is abnormal, then you will think about how to treat. You will think about how to treat the problem, and then you can think about which meridian is related to the blood. Then you can find the points on tone meridian. Then it might help your treatment. the sea of blood. And Young Meridian also control the qi and blood of the entire body, regulating the primarily through the 12 principal meridians. Control the qi and blood of the entire body. So as you can see from here, many actual meridians, they actually regulate the qi and blood. That's because of the function of the actual ordinary meridians. They can support the 12 principal meridians. When they got extra flow, you can store in the actual meridians. Once it becomes insufficient, then the qi and blood in the actual meridian can supply to the 12 principal meridians. The dimeridian travels starts just below the rib cage and runs transversely around the waist and the belt. The di from the name, the di means belt, controls and regulates all the longitudinal meridians. So it's very similar to a belt to tie all the meridian we mentioned that travels in this way, longitudinal way, from up to down. So we got all these meridian around our body. So the dimeridian is very similar to belts to tie them transversely. So that's the function of dimeridian. The inchal meridian. The inchal meridian originates in the heel and ascends along the front of the body. It ascends to the medial malleolus. Then it travels straight up along the back of the medial side of the leg, external genitalium. Travel along the surface of abdomen, ascend to the supraclavicular fossa, continue ascent to the Adam's apple, ending in the inner canthus, communicate with the Yang meridians. So as you can see from the description, this meridian travel from the heel all the way up. And because it's in meridian, at the back of the leg and the medial side, because in is at the inside. And the abdomen also in, travel all the way up to the eye. So that's the Inchal meridian. Yangchal meridian. Yangchal, Yang, you should move, travel from the outside. The Yangchal meridian originated at the heel, travels outwards along the back of the body. So from the heel at the back of the body, all the way up. Ascend to the shoulder and supraclavicular fossa, then travels up to the neck, to the corner of the mouth and the inner canthus, communicates with the inchal. So it travels also close to the eye. Branches, and also it didn't stop there, continues to the forehead, following the meridian of the bladder meridian, runs to the back of the ear, meets with the gallbladder. So as you can see from here, the Yangchang meridian, it meets with the Sanjiao meridian, meets with the bladder meridian, meets with the stomach meridian, meets with the gallbladder meridian. That's why in the function we said the actual meridian enhance the connection between among the principal meridians, because some of the meridian they connect multiple meridians. The function of Yin Chao and Yang Chao. Qiao means lights or limbo. Working as a pair, Yin Qiao and Yang Qiao meridian governs much of the motion of the body. Yang Qiao meridian governs the Yang meridian on the both sides of the body, while the Yin Qiao governs the Yin meridians. Both meridians nourish the eye because they travel to the eye and then they meet in the inner canthus, controlling the opening and closing of the eyes. It also governs the movement of lower extremity. So if the impairments of the extremities, then we can use the points on the Yin Qiao and Yang Qiao meridians. Next is the Inway meridian and Yang meridian. The pathway of Inway meridian originates at the medial side of the leg where the 3 Yin meridian meets. The 3 Yin meridian meets ring 6. Ascends along the medial side of the leg to the abdomen, where it communicates with the spleen meridian. Then ascend to the rib cage, where it joins to the liver meridian. Terminates to the pharynx, where it communicates with the Young Meridian. So it travels all the way to the liver, to the Young Meridian. That's the travel all the way to the medial side of the leg, and then all the way up to the Young Meridian. That's the Inway Meridian. Yang Meridian originates from the external macularis. So it originates from here, runs parallel to the gallbladder meridian, ascends lateral of the trunk, travel all the way up to the shoulder, to the head and the neck, and go to the forehead, and then turn back to the neck. Meets with Du meridian. So these 2 meridians, Inway, Yang. Wei means link. Inway meridian link to the 3 Yin meridian. The 3 Yin meridian is Jue Yin, Shao Yin, Tai Yin. It's known as the regulating meridian of Yin. Similar, Yang meridian linked to 3 Yang, known as the regulating meridian of Yang. Though, as you can see from here, until now we have introduced all the 8 actual meridians. Apart from the Du meridian and Young meridian, the other 6 meridians, Hong meridian, Dai meridian, Yin Qiao, Yang Qiao, Inway, Yang, these meridians, they don't have points. They don't have points on their meridian. All the points is from the other meridians. So they connect with different meridians. They connect with different acupuncture points on different meridians. Then it becomes their own meridians. So it's similar to the shortcuts through different meridians, these actual meridians. That's also why sometimes we put the Du meridian and Young meridian with the 12 meridian together, become 14 meridians. So there are still accessory parts of the meridian systems, as we have discussed until here, from the 12 principal meridians and the 8 extra meridians. As you can see the distribution, the pathway of them. They run one by one, and although they have some connections, and if there are some other accessory parts to enhance the connection, then the communication between or among different meridians will be much better. and also you can other parts of the body will be covered, will be included in this system. So these are the four accessory parts in the system we are going to introduce: the divergence meridians, connecting collaterals, meridian sinews, and cutaneous regions. The divergent meridians actually is a kind of meridian that diverges from the 12 principal meridians and goes into the interiors of the trunk, which go to the internal body and distributes through the chest, abdomen, and runs outwards to the head. And then the divergent meridian also can enhance the communication among different meridians. So as you can see the picture on the right side, that's an example of the divergence meridians. This picture is the Young Meridian, start from the middle jaw, goes all the way up, and then from the upper arm, it goes through to superficial, to surface, the Young Meridian. And then the divergent meridian of hand Yang, it goes around right next to the Yang meridian. So it goes around it, and then it enhances the function of the Young Meridian. The characters of this divergence meridian they comes out from the points from the meridian, but come out from the points. Most of the points are below the elbows or below the knees. So if from the other picture, below the knees, most of the divergent meridian diverge from the main meridian from the points below the elbows. So from these areas, it depends on which meridian. There's some different points, but most of the points sit below the elbows or below the knee. And when they diverge out from the principal meridian, you travel in the interiors of the trunk and goes up to the head and back to the lower extremity. So these theories we're going to discuss in details in the acupuncture, especially for when we study the acupoints, you will understand some of the points have different functions. And why they have different functions? Because these are the connecting points of these meridians where they comes out, they diverge out, or where they join back to the meridian, or when they join to the other meridians. Function of divergent meridian, it can enhance the internal relationship of the paired meridian. Because when they comes out from one meridian, for instance, the lung, they come out from the lung meridian, and then it will join back to the Yang meridian of the paired Yang meridian. And also because this divergent meridian comes out from the surface and travel back to the trunk, interiors of the trunk. So it can enhance the communication from the surface to the internal organs. It also enhances the relationship between the meridian and the head and facial areas. because of the pathway distribution of the divergence meridian, the function, the efficacy of the meridian have much larger range, because there's from the long meridian, you can go to large intestine because of the divergence. You can go to the stomach. So the long meridian also have something related to different young meridian or to a paired meridian. The long meridian, you come out from the shoulder and then goes in the large intestine meridian. The large intestine meridian will come out from the shoulder and go into the trunk and link to the large intestine. So the detailed flow or detailed pathways we're not going to introduce here from here. What's important is what's divergence meridian and also what's the function of them. Connecting collaterals. The connecting collaterals actually we have introduced when we introduced the 12 principal meridians. The connecting collaterals are the large and more important collaterals and are branches that diverges from the 12 principal meridian to the 8 extra meridians. The 8 extra meridians here actually refers to the Young Meridian and Du Meridian. That's why there are 15 connecting collaterals. And as you can see from the definition, the connecting collaterals actually refers to the collaterals that's from one meridian go to the next meridian. So it's actually the branches, branches from one to the other, they connect to, such as here, the stomach meridian, and there's one from here to the spleen meridian. This one when they diverge, they come out from one meridian to the other. This is the big collaterals. We call them connecting collaterals. Each meridian has one collaterals. That's one. Each principal meridians. So 12 principal meridians has one. Each of them has one connecting collaterals to the next meridian. And plus, there's Du Meridian and Young Meridian also have the connecting collaterals. There's one extra one for the spleen. That's why there are 15. So 15 connecting collaterals includes the 12 principal meridians, Du and Young meridians, and also one collaterals of the spleen. The function of the collaterals also have the similar function with the divergence meridians. Can enhance the communications between the paired meridian because it travel from one meridian to the other, actually travel to the connecting meridian. It also can help to regulate the qi and blood circulation to nourish the whole body. And strengthen the relationship between on the body surface. Next one we're going to talk about is the meridian sinews. Meridian sinews is a group of qi or blood when they gather together, when they travel together. So as you can see the picture here, it looks thicker than the meridian. Meridians are line, and these meridian sinews, they look thicker, and that's where the qi travels, or the qi gathers at the ligament or at the joints. That's the sinews we call it. The last part is the cutaneous region. Cutaneous region actually is related to the skin. That's the certain area of the surface on which the 12 principal meridians reflect their function. These are the picture on the left is the demonstration of different meridians, different skin area related to different meridians. As you can see from the picture, actually the cutaneous regions are actually very closely related to the pathway of the meridian. At the end, we begin to mention a few functions of the meridian and the applications. So we have introduced all the meridians and the main accessory parts of the meridian system. And what are the functions of the meridian? We can conclude into these four aspects. One is the communication. The communication refers to four aspects. The first is the communication from our superficial body or our surface, the body surface, and the internal organs. So the communications from the superficial skin and the internal organs. The communication between the organs and orifices. So for instance, the kidney and the ear, what's the connection? So this connection can be further communicated via meridian, and communications among different zang and fu organs, because these organs are connected by the meridians. Also the communications of the meridians themselves. So these are four aspects from the communications. One is the internal organs with the superficial body, the internal organs with orifice, the internal organ themselves, also the meridians themselves, the different meridians. And the second is the distribution function. The distribution function is actually the function of the meridian itself, because meridian is the pathway where qi and blood travels. So that's also in the other way that the meridian can distribute qi and blood to different organs, different tissues, different meridians. So that's the distribution function. And then the transmission function. The transmission function actually refers to some kinds of transmit function. That's, for instance, when we use acupuncture for one point, sometimes the patient can feel different feelings or heaviness or numbness. This kind of feeling can transmit to the other parts of the body along the meridian. So that's the other function of the meridian, can help to transmit. The last is the regulation. The meridian can regulate the qi and blood flow in the body, also can regulate the qi and blood storage in the body. The clinical significance of meridian theories. So why we need to study the theories? Why we need to understand the pathways, the distributions of the meridian, of different meridians. That's because these meridians can indicate the pathologic changes. And also can guide the clinical diagnosis, guide the treatment of diseases. If some abnormal or impairment happens on specific meridians, then that might indicate that this meridian or this related organ may have problems. And also we can use, for instance, in the diagnosis, if someone got headache at the front head or on top of the head at the vertex or on the side of the head, these kind of headaches, are they the same or are they not the same? Why they are not the same? That's because of different meridians travels to different parts of the head. The abnormal of different parts of the head can reflect the abnormal or impairment of different meridians. That's how we use in diagnosis. So until here, we have introduced the meridian theories and meridian and collateral theories. At this part, especially from basic theories, we are going to study this again with much more information in the second years in the acupuncture and massage. And so from here, from the basic theories, what's important for you to understand now here is the name of the meridians, the law of the distribution, the circulation directions, and also the pathways of especially for the 12 principal meridians and 8 extraordinary meridians, especially for Young Meridian and Du Meridian. So the most important are the 14 meridians, the 12 principal meridians and Young and Du meridians. We can stop from here, and in the next video we're going to discuss a new topic of body constitutes.